News, Ibo Town Unions, Petition UN, African Union, ECOWAS court over demolition of Igbo properties in Lagos. The coalition of Ibo Town Unions has lodged formal petitions before the United Nations Human... Jesus. Do people know what sovereignty means? Anyway, let's continue. The coalition of Ibo Town Unions has lodged formal petitions before the United Nations Human Rights Council, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, and the ECOWAS Court of Justice over the continued demolition of shops, markets, and properties belonging to Igbo traders and investors in Lagos. Investors. Is there the petition, according to the group, seeks international intervention to halt what is described as targeted economic oppression against Igbo business owners in the state. The unions allege that several demolition exercises carried out in major markets and business districts have disproportionately affected Igbo traders because Igbo traders have disproportionately been building without approval. That's why. I don't want to read it anymore. It's just a shame that... So wait, what will UN now do? UN will now tell Lagos State government, thou shall not put down any building that contravenes, town planning laws. Don't touch it because it belongs to this particular ethnic group. Something happened over the weekend. Because of the war on Shoki, houses were demolished and it was terrible overnight. And it was bad that the government would even contemplate that. Yes, maybe they've told them to do, they've already served them notice and they didn't leave. But people are saying that there was a court judgment. I'll see if I can find that news. The point I'm trying to make is this: as bad as it is, I know the reason they are doing that is not because the people living there are Yoruba people. If you cannot make a case without invoking ethnicity, and then you call everybody a tribalist, you are not very smart. I don't care if you're a group, if you're 1,000 people, you're not very smart. So what will ECOWAS now do? Even the federal government of Nigeria cannot tell a state what to do on that land. The federal government, the president cannot dictate to the governor what to do when a person decides to contravene the laws of the land of the state. There's something called Land Use Act of 1978. The land in the state, within the borders of a state, are held in trust by the governor of that state. So if the president cannot do much about it, of course there can be political solutions. But the question is that why are people not talking about the fact that you are flouting laws, you are beating government officials? Let me play something for you. Something that Togobo Wahab said, I think you should listen to. You are contravening laws, you are beating people up, but nobody must say anything because if they do, it's because of your ethnicity. How about the fact that this thing you are doing is against common sense? I'll play WAP stuff, talking about Wahab, who is the commissioner in Lagos State. Is the commissioner, Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources in Lagos State. Take a listen to this. It was on Arise TV a while back, and he had this to say. Take a listen, please.
For trade fair, I think some persons are just playing politics.
Yeah.
And they are being mischievous.
Yeah.
Shamelessly too.
Trade fair. Why do you say
I'll
that?
say it. Some of them that are meant to be lawmakers, they came to trade fair to dog whistle. How? If there was a Supreme Court judgment as far back as over 2 decades ago that provides that you cannot do building without approvals by the states, and this was a full panel of the Supreme Court, and that law had been in place. Trade fair cannot be an exception to that law. People were served notices by Lagos State government. Don't build. Over a year ago, they were beating Lagos State officials. They were detaining government officials.
All right.
Until this got to the head, and they had to say, you know what? Enough is enough. We should try to separate emotions, politics, and dog whistling.
Are you saying that this time next year, just before we let you go, are you saying that at this time next year, based off of these incidents that we have seen, because we must always learn from experiences, the likelihood of us seeing this level of demolitions is very, very...
It's even reducing.
Exactly. So to make sure that nobody is getting permits to build where they're not supposed to build.
Kashi, let me tell you this. People, when they know there are consequences for bad behavior, that's why I emphasize. When there are consequences for bad behavior and you enforce those consequences, people will start resetting And that's what we're pushing out in Lagos.
We want to bring...
I think it's very important for us to begin to have conversations in this country that actually move us forward, rather than, like you said, dog whistling, right? And it's also shameful that the people who are actually doing this are the ones who are supposed to be the representatives of the people who should be educating them, but it is what it is. Well, while they were doing all of that, sending letters to ECOWAS, something interesting happened in a place called Otumoye Street in Anambra, in Onitsha, Anambra State. Take a listen to this. You'll be able to follow it from what you hear. Take a listen, please.
This is number 19 Otumoye Street. I'm just telling the whole world to see what is happening at number 19 Otumoye Street. This is illegal injection of property. See injustice. See how people are being treated. As if they are not body. That's what you're getting before.
So what happened was that people were in their homes and there were guys there to pull down their buildings in the night. Right? They're still in their houses. In their houses, and can see the lights on, the fan is working, but their walls have been bulldozed. That's in Anambra State. I've not seen any of this, Voltrons, saying that they're being marginalized in Anambra State. But, it is what it is. I mean, this is not to say that I like what they're doing in Anambra State. I think it's wrong. But then I don't have full details because you don't know whether they've told them to move and they didn't move and now they went to demolish that building. So those are the things you talk about as a sane person. You can just go straight to the fact that, wait, are they Yoruba? Oh, that's why they're doing it to them. So leave everything, just go straight to the fact that it's because of ethnicity. It has nothing to do with anything else. By the way, I've not seen Peter Obi say anything about that demolition at night in Igbo land.